let's talk about how to follow up with a client on a proposal when they've ghosted you, including the exact email you want to send. So here you are. You have put in hours and hours, if not days and days, in order to put together a proposal for a new prospect. You're really excited. You thought the conversation went great, and then all of a sudden, they have ghosted you. You sent over the proposal and now they are MIA, not getting back to you, and you're wondering, how in the world can I follow up with them? Because I don't want to be pushy, I don't want to be salesy, and I sure don't want to come off as being needy. So what am I going to do? So I'm going to give you in this video an exact email that you can use in that situation and walk you through why it works. But before I do that, I just want to point out that before you have ever sent a proposal over to a client, you want to make sure that you've done certain things, because really what I would love to see in the future for you is that you're not having to send an email trying to follow up, but rather that you handled the process, the entire sales process, so well that they're not ghosting you. They're not going MIA and putting you in that horrible place of wondering, is this deal going to move through or not? So before you have ever sent over a proposal to a client, the following things must happen first. Number one, the client has been fully briefed on your full suite of core capabilities and offerings. You've got to remember that prospects will only ask you for the things that they have thought of. So they're dealing with a solution set that is this small, even though your services suite is this big and probably has some things in it they haven't considered and would better align to what it is they want to do. So before you are even co-creating with them, you've got to walk them through that entire piece. And that's one of the things that we do with our Bold House Collective members right away, is take them through a proven 5-part sales process so that they understand how to do this without it being salesy, really coming from a place of service. If you're not able to speak to prospects in a comfortable way about your entire suite of offerings, that's a pretty big business problem that you've got to solve, right? Next, you've clarified and verified the client's needs and desired outcomes. And it's really important that there's a verification process that's happening, that the way that you're doing that questioning and the evidence that you're asking for is part of the conversation. Your prospects, especially who work inside of corporate and other types of organizations, live in an echo chamber. They live in an echo chamber. And so they start saying, oh, this is our problem. This is our problem. This is our problem. And a lot of times that's not the problem, or you're only getting half truths, not because they're trying to deceive you, but because they're in the quicksand. One of my favorite expressions is the fish can't see the water. Well, your clients are the fish, they can't see the water. Before you're putting together a proposal, you better make sure you've done this step. If you haven't, once you send over the proposal, it will often start triggering them to get out of the water and start reconsidering things. You don't want that to go on in their head after you've emailed over a proposal to them. Next, you want to make sure you've co-created the solution together with your client. Your client should not be getting a proposal from you over email, and it's the first time that they're considering what the engagement, what the program, or what the project is going to look like. Organizations today are way too complicated. There are too many interdependencies and details that you can't possibly get right back in your office working on a proposal by yourself. You have to do this. We actually have clients in our programs, because we're always sort of sharing and best practices, who've taken hours with their clients and been in rooms where they've got vice presidents involved and they're putting things up on whiteboards. This process, it's phenomenal when it's done right. We love teaching people how to co-create the right way. Next, you want to make sure you've used the pullback strategy. Now, this is a Bold House term here, the pullback strategy. But essentially what happens when you're talking to a decision maker is they get really excited about everything that you're saying and about the idea that you're going to help them fix their problems in their organization. They're talking to you because they want to fix a problem, right? So you start talking to them about what's possible, and they start getting starry eyes. They get starry eyes about this great future where everything's going to be perfect, and then you get happy ears, and together that is a recipe for disaster in that you start building a proposal that is essentially solving world peace, but it's too much for them to take on right now. And so in order for you to make sure that you're not proposing something that is bigger than what they actually have the bandwidth to take on right now, you've got to pull back a little bit with them. And here's how that sounds. Jane, this sounds amazing, and we can help you with every one of these pieces. I just want to pause though for just a second and make sure, given everything else that you have going on right now and everything else your team has going on right now, that you can do all of this now. If we did pull back somewhere, where would that be? What could we put off? And I have some ideas too, Jane, but if we pulled back to just the most important things for us to get started with right now, what would those be? That is a priceless question to ask your client before the proposal is on a piece of paper, because now is the time to address that objection, not after you've sent that proposal over, they've ghosted you, and now you're trying to convince them, oh, we could go with something smaller. You do that here before the proposal is sent to them. And last but not least, you've actually walked the prospect all the way through the proposal, either in person or over Zoom. You should never be sending a proposal to a client that you haven't walked them by the hand completely through start to finish. Then you make those edits, then you send the proposal over. All right, so now you've sent that proposal over, but they have ghosted you. What do you do now? This is the email that you sent. The subject is additional ideas and next steps. Hi, fill in the blank here with your prospect's first name. We've been giving more thought to your project or initiative and have a few additional ideas that could further support your goals, along with a couple of clarifying questions that have popped up. Let's connect for a quick 20-minute Zoom session to discuss. I'm available, option 1, or option 2. Let me know which works best for you. Looking forward to it. Best, your name. That's it. In fact, one of the things you might notice is we don't use the word follow-up. That's not here, and that's for good reason. We don't have time today to get into it, but that whole idea of being followed up with never feels good from the decision maker's side of the table, and there's all sorts of research behind that. But look what we've done here. We're now intriguing them. We're using one of the most powerful levers of intrigue in the outset by telling them that we've had a few more ideas and we have questions. So we're using that psychological lever of curiosity for them to come back onto a meeting with us. And the thing is, you don't even have to come up with rocket science level ideas, just a couple of things that you've no doubt thought of that you could either add in, or maybe even details of things you would have done anyway, but you haven't mentioned it to them yet, and you can present it as a new idea. The other thing that's really important about this paragraph is that it shows the prospect that you've been giving more thought. That client has been on your mind. You're consciously thinking about them. Let's connect for a quick 20-minute Zoom session. It doesn't say, can you connect for a 20-minute Zoom session? It says, let's connect. So it's being assumptive there. And that's a power position that you want to take. Of course, they want to get on a meeting with you for all of 20 minutes, and you're making it easy. You're giving them an A or B choice. That's one of the most powerful levers that you can use in sales, is an A or a B choice. So you're making it really easy. You're not asking them to go to their calendar for the next 2 weeks and look and try to figure out where they might fit this in. You're boiling it down to 2 quick options for them to look at. As an aside, we love Fridays for this. Fridays are always a really light day. And then you're just closing with this, like, hey, we're so excited, looking forward to it, moving on. There's nothing needy about this, there's nothing pushy about this, and there's nothing salesy. about this. If this was helpful, what I want you to do now is just pop down into the description. We've left a link for you there, wincorporateclients.com. If this video was helpful, our quick start guide is going to be even more helpful to you. It's really all about how you go about building a $1 million firm when you're a coach, a consultant, or a services provider, and you're working with organizations of any type or size. Lots of great information for you there. So pop on down to Win Corporate Clients below. All right, so we just talked about what to do when the client is ghosting you. You're going to use the template that I just gave you in order to get the conversation going and getting that opportunity moving forward. No doubt before long, that deal is going to close. So the very next video I want you to go and watch right now so that you're prepared when that deal gets inked is how to thank a client for accepting a proposal. We're going to give you swipe copy there that you can use as well. So go ahead and click on that link now, and I will meet you there.